All right, the camera just locked up in the middle of the video. Here I am doing the video again. Now, notice the speaker down in there has sort of a brass plating on it. That's rust. This radio, the batteries leaked in the radio when the radio was standing up, and it traveled along. It got on the speaker, and it worked its way up the speaker. That's what battery acid does. It sort of goes uphill. Now, that's one of the problems. I'm going to have to replace the speaker. I'm going to have to take the cabinet further apart and take the acid off. Now, this knob that I was trying to pull on the last video, it's got a band of spring steel up in here. If you're familiar with radios, you know what I'm talking about. And that has rust on it also, because as the battery is leaking in the radio, some of it is going through the air and getting on parts and causing them to rust. There will also be, they stored this in a really wet place. The two slide knobs, they pull off. They're a little tight. You wiggle them right to left to get them off. All right? So the knob, this pulls straight off. It's tough. You wiggle right, left, up, down, right, left, or go in a circle, in a circular motion to get this knob off. It's really on tight. Now, this little thing, yes, I cut my nails. For those of you that follow my nails, this is a pulley. And let's see if we can see the other pulley. Let's see if we're in the frame. Oh, right here. This is an idler pulley. There's one over here, but it's broke. I have to make one of those. All right? That's if I continue working on this. What is this goo around here? Am I pointing to it? Yeah. This is the on and off control. And it's got some type of powder around it. It could be this material here that I think hides the fact that the pointer, it hides the mechanism of the pointer from the front dial. Now the pointer, you can't get the pointer off unless you take the front panel off, which you see this? See this little tab? That's a melt tab. They put the front tab of the front panel of this radio on and then melted some tabs. So the front part of the radio is melted onto it. Now what you can do is you can cut this, don't cut it flush, cut it around and leave the little tab part sticking up, the post. And then you can reuse it one more time. All right? I've done this before on radios. It's not worth it, but this will keep me busy. And that's what we're at this point. You know, like the only thing I really enjoy in life are radios. All right, that's the sad part, you know. And the other thing is going for long walks and stopping and talking to different people. Anyway, so this pointer here it is here, has three tabs on it, and if this was down, this dial cord right here, this dial cord would be in those three tabs, and it goes over one, under one, over one. Look at it before you take it apart, and then go in reverse. And you don't squeeze down those tabs until you've calibrated the radio. And there are websites for this radio, and I don't know if anybody's taken the radio apart and shown you in the inside. I don't know. There probably are, and there's still photos. I know there's still photos on websites. Now, like I told you, if you want to work on this radio, right here. Let's see. The camera wants to be somewhere else. Wow, that's way off. Okay, this is the tuning capacitor, and this is the pulley on the tuning capacitor. In order to get to some of those caps that got to be changed, you have to break the calibration. And this red stuff is Gliptol. Remember I told you about Gliptol on the aircraft stuff? And that keeps it from the screw from vibrating loose. They also use it to mark that certain sections have been inspected, and then you go on to the next thing. Some radios, when you go through, you'll see like 3 or 4 different colors. But I did go inside this. I've evaluated it, and I'm considering it a radio that the batteries have leaked, and I'm going to treat it as such. You know, take the parts off the body and rinse the body off, wash it, and then go from there. You know, the speaker. You know, I would like to replace the speaker, and the hold downs are rusted, but they're in a plastic. They're in a plastic case. But that's the problem with this radio. When you get it, it's going to be a leaker. Now let me make sure my camera's still working. You know, I hate when that does that. And, you know, I can't find it. It's the second video of the day locks up. So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. And the one guy always keeps telling me to get a Chromebook. And I don't want to go down that road because that'll have a different set of problems. This one I at least know when I look over and do this, son of a bitch, it's locked up. You know what I mean? And when I'm doing a video, I do it in a certain way that I try to remember what I said for when I have to do it over again. But there's several bolts that hold the plastic frame to this black frame. So the black frame to the black inside of the case. There's a few screws. Make sure you get them all. And then the knobs, getting the knobs off. Do that first. And I showed you, you know, it's a band of steel. If you never did one of these knobs, you're in for a treat. Same with these. These are made to be press fitted on. And it's just a square shaft that it goes on. And when you're prying them off, use 2 screwdrivers, one on each side of the knob, and pry it evenly. You know, as you work on this stuff over the years, you get better at it. Let's just put it that way. You know what you're up against before I opened it. I said, I'm going to check the last video. I said, I'm going to check for leaky batteries. And I told you, had leaky batteries, threw the radio out. Had one that was in the fire, threw the radio out. You know, and you're talking almost $50 with shipping and handling and everything. And the person shipped it ground the cheapest way. You know, they want to make as much money. And it was over a week. It was going through the postal system. And this is actually the schematic. What happened to this is it reacted to the battery acid. Yeah. So, see, when I open these up, I'm like, I know what I'm going to see. It's actually pretty funny. And then someone says, well, you should buy the radio and repair it and then resell it. Yeah, what am I going to make? $1.50? Think about that. How many hours you got to be on to take this apart and clean the case and put it all back together again? Oh, it's got to work, too, when you're done. Watch some of Shango's stuff. He does what he calls a resurrection. See, I'm already done with that. You got the radio to work again. The volume control's bad. And you put it on the pile. Oh, that was a quick one, right? But then the next level is go looking further. And then all of a sudden you say, oh, the batteries did leak. They didn't get to the circuit board because it's up on plastic. And that's why some radios, when it leaks, it gets on the circuit board, turns the circuit board green. And that's a whole other story. But I'll take this apart a little at a time and clean all the parts and then put it all back together. And hopefully I don't, take a hammer to it on the way in between that. So I think that's it for part 2. All right, that's it for part 2.